Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, today we're going to be looking at, Martian tracks, and a sensitive abductee who didn't believe in aliens until she became an abductee of them. So, it's very interesting, folks. We'll start off with basically the sensitive abductee. I didn't believe in aliens until I had an encounter, and read her story about how she became to believe in them. Then we'll read about the Martian robot leaving tracks up on Mars. Either way, let's get into this article now. I received the following account through a UFO research colleague. Apparently, these incidents began in 2005. I woke up 6 months after I had participated in the search for a downed plane in Rosebud County, Montana. What was unusual about that event is that I established a grid pattern outside of the FAA grid pattern, and the people who came with me to search in the area found the plane only hours after we started that day. The FAA-led search had been fruitless until that 7th day when people were finally willing to listen to me. I am sensitive and was led to the area where the plane was found by the dead pilot. 6 months later, I had an encounter with some unknown type of robotic being in my bedroom. It was humanoid, but robotic. I realize I am paralyzed. I cannot speak. My husband is dead asleep. I can only scream telepathically. In Jesus' name, you will let me go. I command you, let me go. Hey, it had worked on what I perceived to be ghosts before. The being said, "Sleep, you will sleep," in this hypnotic voice. I told it to go to hell. I was wide awake, and we went back and forth while I commanded the thing in the name of the Elohim and all angels that let me go. I seemed to be floating above my bed almost to the ceiling with 7 things that were making this weird hum noise attached to my head. This goes on for some time, and the mechanical voice keeps saying, "Sleep." Suddenly, a new voice starts to speak to the angry and freaked out me while I'm telepathically telling this robot thing off, and it is a non-robotic female voice. It calms me down, asks why they are doing this to me. It says, "We have heard about what you did in search of the plane, and we have come to see why you can operate on such a high frequency with your mind." I get very calm. I end up losing time. I don't know anything for a time with this humming noise taking over in my brain. It informs me they are done. I asked what they found. It replies, "You are a secret weapon." I am a pacifist and am very disappointed by this conclusion. I find myself tucked back into my bed and my husband still won't wake up. I am freaking, but I go back to sleep, still feeling paralyzed. I wake up and record the dream. What is so strange about this is I didn't believe in UFOs and aliens at all at the time. I have a first cousin who claims she was abducted, and I have always thought her a nut. I have talked to my husband only about this for years because I am confused to the core over the dream. As a sensitive, I communicate with dead people. Unfortunately, the aliens are making my life too complicated. They put things into my dreams, and I don't like it. I feel like I'm in some Star Trek episode some nights. There are a variety of them. They seem to be extra-dimensional. I prefer a worldview that includes my dead mother talking to me, or a dead actor telling me he was murdered over those others who are coming through stargates or portals. I'm scared of being abducted again. Anonymous. Very interesting story, folks. Is it true? Perhaps it is, folks. Maybe this woman was basically being abducted by alien beings because indeed she's some sort of a special human that has some sort of extra power, or she indeed is a weapon. I kind of prefer that she has some sort of extra power and maybe could do things that other people have not been able to do before. Either way, very interesting. But now, folks, let's read about one of those NASA robots up on Mars right now. In this article titled, "Tracks Spotted Across the Martian Landscape by NASA Orbital Reveal a Red Planet Curiosity." Let's get into it now. New images captured by NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO, reveal a very unusual sight, an orbital view of the trackway left in the Martian sand by one of the planet's robotic explorers. The photographs are believed to mark the first known imagery documenting the transit of the Intrepid Curiosity rover by one of NASA's Mars orbiters. The images were obtained in late February as Curiosity trekked along toward its next scientific investigation using the orbiter's high-rise, high-resolution imaging science experiment camera. In the new images, initially released on NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL website, earlier this week, Curiosity can be seen as a tiny dot near the bottom of the frame, trailed by a long and winding set of tracks marking its pathway through a basin. Here's a picture of the Curiosity robot as it makes its way across Mars, folks, and heading under the picture says, Curiosity appears as the tiny dark speck within the encircled area, marking the first imagery obtained by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter of the rover while transitioning between locations. Very, very cool. But now, folks, let's read this part of the article that's titled, Curiosity Caught in Transit. The pathway revealed in the MRO images represents 11 separate drives, which the rover completed between February 2nd and February 28th, 2025. Moving at a speed of just 0.1 miles per hour at the time the photos were obtained, the rover was en route between the Giddits Vallis Channel and an area described by the Curiosity team as a region with potential boxwork formations possibly made by groundwater billions of years ago. Although Curiosity can move more quickly at times, the rover's ground speeds are often determined by the difficulty of the terrain it is attempting to climb and how well its onboard software can navigate. Here's a picture of the Curiosity rover robot up on Mars, folks, taking a selfie. As you can see, it's a very cool looking little bot, isn't it? And it's basically still trekking up there right now. Either way, let's get back to the article. I just wanted to basically show you exactly what this robot looked like. The Curiosity team at JPL meticulously plans each movement executed by the rover. Curiosity's planning team, Chief Doug Ellison, said that the tracks revealed in the recent MRO image indicate a 69-foot drive completed in just under a month of travel. The next part of the article basically, is called A High-Rise View of a Martian Rover. The MRO's high-rise camera primarily conducts its reconnaissance in black and white imagery, with only a portion of each image revealed in color. In the past, Curiosity has been spotted in the color ranges of the orbiter's imagery, but only while the rover was parked at one of its destinations. As the new images indicate, Curiosity's trackway leads to the base of what the JPL team identifies as a steep, sloping area which the rover has since ascended. In around another month, Curiosity is expected to make its way to its next destination, where it will continue its explorations of the red planet's surface features and search for evidence of ancient water on the barren planet, as well as possible signs of life. Additional information about Curiosity's mission and ongoing studies of the Martian landscape can be found at its official page on NASA's website, while additional details on the MRO's operations and imagery it obtains can be found here. They have a link there, folks, but, this is my video, and I don't really have that link. But either way, very interesting, isn't it, folks? Now, in both accounts, some people will say both accounts are very, very cool. With the first account, with this alien abductee, folks, she encounters this robotic being and this female voice telling her to remain calm. While in this other article, it is basically as real as anyone can basically prove here, folks, because this rover was basically a piece of NASA technology sent up to Mars by them to basically, explore the red planet. Now, some people will say that it's unfair to basically put one story with the other, because one story is about an alien abductee who can't prove that she was actually abducted, folks, and says that she was a sensitive, while putting along a very real scientific, mission that's being conducted by Mars. I say no, folks. Both stories are well worth looking at in one little video here, because I both found them very interesting. One with maybe a robotic alien being abducting someone, and a Curiosity NASA rover robot sent up to Mars to do something very similar. I mean, if you think about it, folks, if indeed this woman was abducted by this alien robot and this other entity, then it's not that much different than the robotic rover up on Mars right now, folks. I mean, if you think about it, the rover is basically collecting rocks and other samples from the Martian surface, i.e. abducting them himself, while this supposed alien robotic being was doing the same thing with a living specimen on Earth. So, is it really all that different? I mean, the alien abductee would obviously scream yes, but in reality, she was released unharmed. So is there really any difference? Maybe not. Either way, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. There are other links to Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, Arbitute, Dark Saints, Webbit Co-op, and stitched together pics. And remember, I upload exclusive videos to Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or Arbitute that I do not upload to YouTube. If you want to see them, use those links down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to my channels on those websites. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. hit that bell for notifications. Hit the part of the bell that will give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.